That. Good evening. Welcome to Grand Blanc Township's board meeting for Tuesday, July 7th. If you could all rise for the pledge, please. Clerk Robertson, would you please call the roll?
I would be happy to call the roll, Mr. Supervisor. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Is here. Myself, of course, I'm here. Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Here.
Trustee Fike?
Here.
Trustee Hugo? Here. And Trustee White is absent. 6 members present, a quorum.
Thank you. And now we'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. Somebody cares to make that? Okay, by Mr. Fike, supported by Ms. Hugo.
Motion by Fike, supported by Hugo on the agenda. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Trustee Fike?
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
All right, thank you. And now we will move to public comment and have Jeannie Weimer? Weimer? Okay. Okay, yes, please. And please adjust the microphone
I have.
appropriately.
Is that good? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm Jeannie Weimer. I live on Wishing Well. And I was curious when they're going to do, I just have questions, the final layer of asphalt on our street, because I would like to have a garage sale. I wasn't able to do that. I know it seems trivial. I wasn't able to do that last year at all because all the streets were up. So I couldn't direct people in. Also in front of our house or near where our mailbox was, there was a sump pump. Well, I'm guessing it was a collection unit for, I'm guessing, our sump pump water. And my husband would like to know if we can hook into that. Do we need a permit for that? How does that happen? Since otherwise we run our sump pump hose out to the road, and we try not to do that in the winter when it freezes so that it doesn't bust up the road. So we know that when the guys were out, we made comments. He made a comment to the guys, and they said that that is possible, but he's wanting to see how we can go about doing that. And that's all the questions I have or comments.
Okay, thank you. Suzanne Wellington?
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes. Suzanne Wellington. The reason I'm here tonight is like all of the residents on Wishing Well, we are very disappointed that we are paying a lot of money and our road is not done. It looks like a mess. The snow plows have come through because the second layer was not put on. And because of that, the snow plows have chopped all that up. There was a lot of other curbing, old curbing that was left. As a matter of fact, on each side of my house, there was new curbing put in, and right across my driveway where I needed the storm drain to be put back like it was, and it wasn't. The old curbing there across the street, it's a mess. It's still pooling water, and we're all very disappointed. My storm drain was done because it was cracking all the driveway at the bottom of the driveway. It was a mess. I didn't want my, at the time, small grandchildren or my mom who used a walker. I did not want her to trip or any of us to trip. So I called the Drain Commission, talked to Jeff Wright. He sent a crew out and they fixed it. They fixed it in December. And it held December 2020 until last fall when they went in. They guaranteed me it would go back. It did not go back. It is not what they did with the Drain Commission was perfect. They did a diamond around shape around the disc, and again, perfect. No cracks, no anything. This one that they put in is not exactly like they said it would be, and it's already cracking. So on Wishing Well Drive, we want our road fixed and fixed it right, and we don't have any more money to put towards it. So we're already paying. All of us, our house payment has gone up for escrow, which I'm sure you all know, and so that's what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Julie McCready?
Hi, I'm here in front of the board for a third time about the same issue, the noise happening. And I would like to formally request a meeting with two of the people I voted for on this board, one of which is you, Mr. Bennett, and the other is you, Joel. The first time I came in here and told you my circumstances, you said that we need to help this woman. If she can't get a good night's sleep and no one's getting back to her, you know, someone's got to get back to her. We need to fix this. Well, your fix 7 months later was to exempt that same business, and they don't have to adhere to any rules whatsoever. But the business that is called Action Maintenance, that's right down the street, had complaints about starting their equipment before 7 a.m. These homes are yards away from that business. I drove around. I'm 9 feet from 103 decibels, 7 days a week, a minimum of 7 months out of the year. I came to you and asked for help. You exempted the business. The township was talking with this business about me, as was Sheriff Rainey. I have those emails. I'm right here. I want a meeting with both of you. I would love for you to come sit on my patio or sleep in my bed one night. One night. But something's going to change. I'm not going to quit showing up here. I will not leave you people alone. What happened is not okay. And like I said before, Bill Delzer has his hands in too many pans. Laddie resigned from this board in January. And he then wrote the exemption for this business to be exempt not only from the sound ordinance, but from the construction ordinance. This isn't just regular business of this particular business, but the one down the street who maintains our street signs and actually services the community as a whole. This business services a very select few that seem to just get away with murder. And I'm not going away. I guarantee you.
30 seconds.
Mr. Rainey said, Chief Rainey said in the email, I wouldn't be surprised if she comes back again. The other email from LaMotta said, she was here complaining, but he said the equipment couldn't be run before 7. What changed? Who changed the superintendent's mind? I have the email. So I'm gonna be at every meeting. Every meeting. I've lost my dad, I had neck surgery, my other parents are very ill, and you couldn't have done this at a worse time for me.
Time.
You've made my life hell, and I am going to make yours hell.
Thank you. Kathleen Lake?
Ladies, gentlemen, firstly, I'd like to thank you for allowing time for me to express my concerns regarding an issue in this past month of trash and recyclable pickup by a company called Mterra, and that I believe the township has a contract to provide these services. I've been a resident of Pine Villa Condo Complex in Grand Blanc Township since 2011, and as I am a taxpayer, willingly to pay my taxes to a community that I truly care about and that I live in. Is it too much to ask to have these services taken care of? In this past month, it has been necessary to make numerous calls, phone calls to Mterra, to the township, regarding no pickup of trash, no pickup of recyclables. And we've had numerous excuses that are just too many to even bring to this meeting today because it would take too long. And over and above the fact, we had promises of time frame that they would come and take care of it. Well, for almost 2 weeks, we had our trash sitting out in this heat, cooking, if you will. So, and also, with all these promises, no pickup was taken care of. Our complex, by the way, as an example, was totally forgotten, like we didn't even exist. You know, I'm a voter, a senior citizen, and I'm a taxpayer. And you know, in this time frame, with inflation being as high as it is, it's not easy to do and pay what we have to get these services, but we do it because we care about our community and where we live. I looked up the definition in what an elected trustee is and what their responsibilities are. And I quote, "The role of the township trustee is an elected official responsible for advocating residents' interest as well as managing a local government unit known as a township. Also, keeping basic services accessible to a neighborhood scale." I sincerely hope that this definition is true and that you are listening to me
30 seconds.
and that a resolution in this issue with this company, Emterra, can be taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Barbara Rommel.
I'm here for the same issue, but also I want to add on our long-term recycling building that we were promised last year, I do believe, that we can't take medical waste in on a weekly basis. We only have to do it by appointment, and you can never get an appointment at the first of the month because they fill up within the first 5 minutes. So whatever happened to the permanent recycling building? And the second thing was, I forgot the second thing. That one was my biggest deal, but I'm also in with the trash in the end. Oh, I know, big waste. We're not allowed to leave waste bigger in front of our buildings. We were told because they can't bring the big truck down there. Well, that's not our problem. We're promised these services, we like to be able to get them like everybody else. And you can't bring a big truck because there's no way to turn around unless you're in somebody's driveway, and that's not good because it's all cement and they're heavy. So those are the two things I want to add to the list with the garbage company, was the long-term recycling building that I could go to anytime I needed to, and the big waste items like a mattress or things, because we're not allowed to leave them. We have to physically take them to the garbage dump ourselves. Now, I know we get a pass once a month to do so, but that's also really hard since most of the people where I live are senior citizens and no trucks. So that leaves us short. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll try and address some of these things before we're done today. But as far as a permanent recycling building, I think that's the Genesee County that was looking at building that. That isn't Emterra or Grambling Township, but you'd have to ask one of your county commissioners on that. Julie Hargrove.
Hi, I'm Julie Hargrove, and I'm president of Pine Villa Condominium Association, and we have had an issue. The guy that did our trash retired. He came in with a smaller truck, and since he left, the first week we got completely skipped. And the supervisor came out and said, "I'm the brand-new supervisor," shook my hand and said, "I'm so sorry, we missed you yesterday." That was the first week of June. Ever since then, we have not been picked up on time. We have to call, everybody's calling me, I have to call, I'm just giving them Emterra's phone number and your phone number, and I know you guys have got 40 or 50 calls, I'm sure, because we're calling the Township Hall and then we're calling Emterra. And they're telling us they're going to come get it, but they don't come get it. And we've been picked up on Thursday for 3 weeks, and then this past week, over the 4th of July weekend, our trash sat out all weekend, because I didn't tell anybody to bring their trash back up, because it's been sitting out since Tuesday night. They insist we have it out on Tuesday night and don't pick up till Thursday. Well, they promised, we were promised, and from what I can tell, I believe the township was told that it was picked up on Friday. They told us they would come as late as 6 or 8 p.m. and pick it up. They never came. So all weekend, and you know, we're just a small neighborhood, and we've got trash sitting out everywhere. It looks horrible, and it smells horrible, you know, in this heat. I might even have given them a break for last week if it wasn't, you know, because of the heat. If it wasn't for the fact that the whole month has been like this. We've got to have a resolution to this problem. And I've got a couple other things. My thing was the big item. I have a bunch of people have asked me, why can't we call for a pickup of a big item? It doesn't make any sense to me. We pay the same for trash as everybody else. Do the condominiums pay less money or something? No. I looked at my taxes. It's not less. And you're supposed to be able to call and schedule a large item. And we've been told no, and we've been told if we have more than 4 trash bags, we're in trouble. And we're like, so, you know, you just distribute it out with your neighbors. But come on, you know, this is getting
30 seconds.
Okay, the other thing I have a question about is what do we do about a tree on our neighbor's property? We have a dead tree up the hill from our power pole. It's got a light and power line running to it, and it's on our neighbor's property. It's deader than a doornail. And when it comes down, it's probably going to take that pole down. It's leaning right towards it. I've had a tree guy out looking at our trees. We're going to take care of ours. Well, that's a question. What do I do? The other one is I wanted to find out about who takes care of the speed limit on Grand Blanc Road? Is it the township? Is it the road commission, Genesee County?
Time.
Last year, they came up and they put a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit right before our entrance and exit, and put the sign right there, so people floor it right before. I got senior citizens pulling out everywhere. You know, somebody's going to get hurt. Well, they already have, but my other question is, when do we get cameras at Grand Blanc and Dorp?
Okay, thank you. I'm going to hang on to that one, Dave. Boyce Wynn?
Good evening. I'm Boyce Wynn, and I too am a Wishing Well resident. And I just want to reiterate what's already been said about our road that was not necessarily finished. There was about an inch or so of asphalt that has yet to be laid down, and so as a result, the new curb that they put down, it's being damaged by the snowplow that comes down through there. Luckily, they got done. They tried to get done right before winter, but there was a few trucks that came down through there and ruined. You know, it's scraping up the new curb, and so it kind of defeats the purpose of putting the new curb there if we're going to tear it up and not finish it so that it's flush. And that was pretty much all I wanted to address.
Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no other public comment, we'll close public comment and bring back to the board here. We'll address some of these things a little bit later in the meeting. We have the road commission here this evening to address some of the things with regard to Wishing Well, and we are aware of some issues with Emtira as well as a number of other communities, and we'll discuss that briefly towards the end of the meeting as well. With that, we actually have a privileged presentation right now from the Road Commission, and Alec Patsy, I'll let you kick it off. Or maybe not. I don't know.
We're trying to figure out who's got the short straw. No. I know that you wanted kind of an update, and
His name. What's your name, sir?
Jared Godley, I'm the construction manager for James
Jared
County Road.
Godley, Godley.
L-E-Y.
Thank you.
So you were looking for an update, kind of where we're at and what's going on.
Yeah, so I'll just lay the groundwork. You've heard a few of the concerns here. We've been getting calls, emails, what have you, people stopping at the township concerned about the project. They didn't hear anything in terms of this spring what was transpiring, and I got an email today from one individual who said that equipment showed up today. And so they were like, good thing we scheduled that meeting, but I don't know if it was just coincidence, but anyways, the residents in that neighborhood, the special assessment has already been set, and people are getting their invoices, and they want to know what's going on. Are the streets going to be finished? Are they going to fix some of the landscaping issues, the curbing, all the above?
So, on June 4th, we posted an update to the Wishing Well webpage, something that we created for the first time for a project this large. And I know during the project, we handed out door hangers, which had QR codes so people could go to that website. And so we're kind of trying to use that still as a means of communication, but I don't know if everybody's getting that. But on June 2nd, I met with Consumers Energy on site. And so I'm going to read the update that we posted to the public just so everybody can hear what that is and put it on record. The Genesee County Road Commission has received questions from residents regarding restoration work, paving, and completion of the remaining items on Wishing Well project. The project has experienced delays related to utility work that must be completed before certain restoration and roadway activities can move forward. On June 2nd, 2026, utility company representatives were on site reviewing the project and evaluating restoration needs. Utility companies are currently developing schedules for restoring areas impacted by their work. To avoid conflicting work activities and additional disruption to residents, the Road Commission and its contractor cannot complete the remaining storm sewer, paving, driveway repairs, and other restoration items until the utility restoration work is finished. Because of the utility companies control their own schedules, we are unable to provide a firm date when their work will be completed. However, we are actively coordinating with all parties involved and are committed to completing the remaining project work as soon as possible. At this time, we anticipate all project work, restoration activities will be completed during the current construction season. We appreciate the patience and understanding of the residents as we work through these remaining items. Project updates will be provided on the website as additional information becomes available. Since that meeting on June 2nd and our website post update on June 4th, letting them know we had that meeting, we have received an email back on June 29th from consumers. In their statement, again, we met on June 2nd. It took 27 days to get a response from consumers. Sorry for the delays, so I wanted to give you an update. They do have a contractor, Bossman, who have been assigned the restoration for this neighborhood. The plan is for us to walk the project with them next week. So we got the email on June 29th. So that following week should have been this past week before the holiday weekend. And identify the areas that Consumers Energy is restoring and to take pictures. Once this is done, he said he can have all 111 addresses completed within 2 weeks. So we're looking at having this done no later than July 25th. And then it says will keep us posted. So that was a big concern of mine as we were closing out last year. Consumers went in there, electric and gas, and was doing their utility relocates and they weren't doing their restoration behind it. And a lot of that was trying to be left for the contractor, I believe, which isn't fair to our contractor. So that's why we had the meeting. They have now established there is 111 addresses, more than I actually thought. They've got 61,377 feet of restoration that needs to be done. So that's where we're at. And so based on our statement that we stated back on June 4th, really what we're trying to do is we're coordinating with all parties, like we said. If consumers can get in and get their restoration completed, we're hoping and working with the contractor to get him back out there by July 27th. That would be the following Monday. Now, if it can work out that we can get the contractor back and coordinating with consumers. Potentially, we can get them there earlier. Not necessarily. I think we want to somewhat keep those operations separate like we stated initially. But that's the plan. That's where we're at. We're really trying the best we can. I know it's not ideal.
A couple of questions, Jared. So do they have underground electric there, or is it underground gas?
They have a little bit of both. They have underground electric in the southern portion of Wishing Well, the northern portion, Springwell, and Wishing Well out to Maple. I think some of that stuff is overhead. Gas is all underground, yes.
So basically, some of that had to be moved for the road project as well as the septic, I mean, not septic,
Some,
sump pump collector system,
yes,
what have you. So consumers, they did all the relocation, but now they need to do the
restoration.
restoration of the ground, whatever it's.
That they disturbed,
holes.
yeah.
So some of the people that had holes in their yard or whatever, that's consumers that need.
Yes.
Somebody had been here to previous meetings, said there was a plywood, something over a
Yep.
hole or something like that.
Consumers put the plywood sheets over the holes for protection wise, but yeah, they kind of got in, got out, and then forgot about completing their work with the restoration. So we had to get out.
So as they complete the restoration work, then the contractor that the road commission is using to, whether it's curb, street, paving, whatever, can get in and finish their work.
Yes.
So some of the things that I've heard in addition tonight was some cracked concrete, cracked curbing, what have you, that, I don't know, occurred sometime since, installation.
Yeah.
Will that be repaired as well?
Yeah, we're very aware of that. I've received correspondence from residents, and we also, with all our projects, run through and do a final punch list. And I brought a sample of that today for this project. We've got cracks in the curb. I've got addresses and streets of, I didn't count, but
Right.
multiple locations of that. We've got driveway cracks, and I've got multiple locations and addresses of those. We got some mailbox, there's some posts, and then we've got restoration needs. So one of our standard practice is to keep a running item of those concerns that you've been hearing about. We've been hearing about the same as well.
right.
We have those quantified, and those generally are handled at the end of the project. As we know, we're not there yet. And right now, there's, I believe, 3 or 4 streets that still need to be topped, and we know. And that really will be the last thing we do, because we don't want to bring construction traffic in that top course coming in off Maple, because that's the only direction they can come in now. And so I'm trying to get the remaining sewer in, get the restoration, get the punch list, get all that completed, and then after all that's done, we'll bring in the subcontractor to pave out the streets, and then we'll be done.
Any questions? Yes. Go ahead.
So I live between Wishing Well and Hillcrest, like down the middle of my driveway is where they started the work, and there is today a sign out. Are they doing something? Like, is there, if you're saying that all of these things are taking place in the future, are they doing something, or they're just putting the stuff out?
Hearing that equipment got dropped off and a sign went up is news to me. I guess I'm going to have to do some checking. I'll find out. And I guess that's a good sign, right?
Thought so.
I mean, I'm hearing positive that some equipment got out there. So if that's the case, I did receive an email last week, and I did receive another email just tonight while I was sitting here. The contractor, we've got to review the plans to final out the job. And so we're going to tentatively work out a schedule, probably this week, early next week, that we can sit down and go through that. And that's part of what we're looking at doing too, just to make sure what remaining work's left to do is very defined. That has been one of the toughest projects in my entire career. Been doing it for 30 years. And I've never seen a project like Wishing Well. And I hope to God I never see another one.
Well, they say you grow from tough things, right? But, we don't want to be the one instigating that. But the thing that I just want to clarify is that we may see, I think it's Diamond that's doing some of the work, right? So you may see them working at the same time as consumers, and
Possibly.
but I can understand that your contractor doesn't want to do the work of consumers when
Well,
they're,
Diamond is our contractor.
right, but they don't want to be doing consumers restoration work.
Exactly, and that's been I mean, you see, there was 111 locations, and again, I knew it was many, but I didn't know it was that many, and 61,000 feet of it, and so, you know, we knew there was an issue there, and so that's why we tried to get that. We want to get that taken care of, and that's what we're trying to do. But I think there's some things that, if Diamond so chooses, we've given him the reprieve of let consumers get done, but if he wants to come in and get some of the sewer work done and feels he can work around consumers and consumers will work around us, then we'll okay for both operations.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Fike?
Jared, thank you for your 30 years of service. We appreciate it. You deal with consumers probably all the time.
I do.
Through your 30 years. So do you feel on this particular instance, either, hey, these things take time, or they're kind of dragging their feet? I mean, do we need to light a fire under consumers to say, giddy up, come on now, people are waiting?
Both. I mean, I did my best to light the fire. We had consumers electric, we had consumers gas. These projects are well planned out. There's utility coordinations that occur in the beginning. Those utility coordinations did happen, and the plan to relocate these utilities was planned for, and unforeseen circumstances put them behind schedule, if you will. But by putting themselves behind schedule, it conflicted with our schedule, and therefore caused what we talked about in the media notice, you know, delays related to utility work. There was numerous delays related to utility work, unfortunately, on this project.
So Jared, if people haven't communicated with you issues or what have you, they email you, or what's the best way for them to get on your list?
An email, call. The best thing to do is go to gcrc.org. There's a construction tab up at the top left, second tab over on the top. You click on that construction tab, it'll bring you to the list of construction projects. If you're on a computer desktop, on the lower
Right side.
right-hand side, there'll be a blue tab that says Wishing Well. If you click on that, it'll give you the media release that we provided, but also if you scroll to the bottom, you can enter your name, email, and put a comment in there, and those comments are going to our communication coordinator, and she gets them to me right away. So you can call the Genesee County Road Commission, 810-767-4920. My extension is 236. Or you can email me, ggodley@gcrc.org.
Mr. Yancho?
Yes, I don't want to defend consumers, but I know that the utility companies in Michigan have all been affected by a variety of different storms this year that have stretched their crews out. So I'm not defending consumers, but I think that that's a possible reason for their situation.
Well, last year, 2025, that's exactly one of the reasons for consumers' electrical delay. And they were supposed to be done with the relocation prior to any of those storm events. So when the storm events happened, it pulled their crews off our site, and they were gone for weeks at a time. There were storms up north. They all went up north. When they finally came back, storms came again. Consumers Electric, just to keep it simple, was supposed to be done with their relocation by the end of February 2025. They didn't get started until late March, early April of 2025. And then shortly after they got started is when the storms up north, the ice and the tree, all of that last year pulled them off of our site. So it put them behind schedule. Our contractor was on site, ready to go. And so there's some more details of why and how consumers got delayed that puts it on them, unfortunately.
Mr. Yancho.
Unrelated to Wishing Well, can you give us an update on the Fenton Baldwin roundabout?
I certainly can. I'm the construction manager. I'm in charge of all these. And so I can let you know what's going on. We got a good contractor on the job. He actually did a roundabout earlier this year at Elms and Beecher. They opened that project 2 weeks ahead of schedule. He has the same mindset with this project. He wants to open it early. Tomorrow, the concrete subcontractor will be on site to start pouring curb and gutter, and he'll probably be working continuously, and there's a lot of concrete going down there. So we've had some challenges. The first month was utility relocations, and Consumers has just gotten that gas main set to close out, if you will, to finish out their relocation. The contractor has been able to continue to move forward. The subgrade and egg base is down and ready. It's been tested, and that makes it the concrete's ready to go down. So currently, they're probably on schedule. I don't think they're ahead of schedule right now. We've had some subgrade challenges, and we had a lot of rain in June that we don't normally see. And so that rain caused many, many subgrade challenges on that site. But the contractor did persevere, and we are moving forward.
What is the expected date?
Oh, boy, now you're really testing me. Am I thinking that one was late August is the proposed open to traffic date? Boy, don't hold me to that.
No, I won't.
I know, put it in ink.
Just late is very vague.
Yeah, well, I have to kind of do that on purpose.
I'm going to hold you to a specific.
But I, you know,
Ask me all the time, what's going on?
And I always tell everyone with construction projects, it's weather dependent. You know, we can have a really well laid out plan, and there's always a surprise. There's always something that will come up that we just weren't anticipating. The real goal and challenge is to persevere and stay on schedule. So the contractor's hope is to get done early like he did on the last one, but I'm just going to say let's get done on time.
I want to especially thank you because I live on Halsey Road.
Okay.
Which had a tenfold increase in traffic.
For sure.
Due to that. And so our road became very dangerous. It's hilly. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for grading and chloriding that road. Thank you very much.
I'll pass that along to our maintenance department. I work with them closely on these construction projects. I know Cook Road has been another one for Mundy Township, and we do our best I do my best to work with our maintenance department to try to help out, because we know we can post detours, but cars will go where they will go.
I know Mr. Patsy was involved in that too.
Real quick, just for what it's worth, there, that detour out there on a project associated with that roundabout, 20 years here at this road commission, I've never had like a more disruptive, or it's not the right word, but that intersection is so critical to the conveyance of traffic between Fenton and Grand Blanc, so critical. And the other hard surface roads around is all the way to Grange Hall Road, Holly to Grange Hall, and then the other hard surface is Grand Blanc over to US 23, and they're a long ways out of the way. And so those, like Jared said, that people will find their way with their navigation, and they'll sadly they'll go
Yeah, they're finding their way through some of the subdivisions in that area too.
Would just encourage you to keep an eye on the Halsey Road, McQueen Road conditions. So, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Any other questions? Clerk Robertson, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have one. The commentary this evening, folks have mentioned concerns about concrete that's been broken and that type of thing. Should we be concerned about the quality of the materials used in the work that was done? That's my first question. The second question I have is, the work's is incomplete, and it's been incomplete for longer than we anticipated. And the work that has been done has been exposed to the elements. Are you concerned about what that prolonged exposure to the elements is doing to what is already there? And can we do we have to concern ourselves with the longevity of the road work as a result? I mean, folks here are going to be paying on this for 15 years, and they sure would like the road to last considerably longer than the 15 years that they're paying on it.
Absolutely.
So do you have would you wish to opine on the quality of the materials used?
Absolutely.
And the work that's been done so far?
Absolutely. I will tell you exactly what I told the road commissioners. Alex and myself sat in a board meeting with them, and they were questioning this project, the length, the delays, all the things that all of you, the residents, you, the board, township board, are asking me, and I will give you the exact same answer. As far as the quality of materials, they're the highest qualities that we expect per standard in Genesee County. So I see no issues with the quality of materials used out on that project. Matter of fact, I think the quality of materials exceeds what we spec. Those roads were in terrible condition. We all know that, especially the residents that live there. They were some of the worst roads in the county. Roads are bad because the subgrade is bad. What did that equate to? It equated that we were going to build a road that had 7 inches of ag base with 5 inches of asphalt. That's what we were supposed to build. What we built, working with the contractor, who I have one of the best relationships of any contractors in Genesee County. He is a Genesee County contractor. I was able to negotiate with him additional geotextile stabilization. It's a fabric we use under roads. And also biaxial geogrid, which is a plastic fiber mesh that is in 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch squares. And what it does, it helps support the road. The other thing I was able to do and negotiate with the contractor was most of the roads out there, we had to undercut an additional 12 inches because the subgrades were so bad. It was just sloppy, mucky mess. You can't build a road on sloppy, mucky mess. So the road cross-section for most, I think it's on all reconstructed roadways, spring well, spinning wheel, mill wheel court, all of those streets that were reconstructed not only have 7 inches of ag, but they have another 12 inches, making it 19 inches of ag base. Sitting on geotextile separator, sitting on biaxial geogrid. Those roads are going to last well over 20 years.
And so all right, you've answered the question with regard to the materials used, but are you concerned about the extended exposure of those materials?
And I was going to get to that next. I just wanted to make sure that answered your question. As far as being exposed to the elements, everything we put out there is meant to be exposed to the elements. So the elements are not degrading any of the materials we put down there. Now, did snowplows hit some of the curb? Probably. That happens when you don't finish a road. But as far as the materials that are there and the exposure that they're getting, they're going to get that exposure anyway. The asphalt doesn't have the top course on, but there's no different from the top course to the course that's on there now. So the weather that's weathering the course of pavement below the top course right now doesn't affect it.
You mentioned a moment ago that this was a project like no other you'd ever seen, or some words to that effect.
For sure.
Okay. The contractor that was used, had they ever done a project of this type and size and scope before?
Absolutely. I've done numerous projects across the county. We actually built a similar road cross section on, is it Brittwood in Mundy Township? Yeah, I almost built an identical road section in Brittwood. And same thing. That road is flawless. That's been 3 years now, ish. Yeah, I mean, he's worked all over the county. He's done a lot of work in Grand Blanc Township. And we've had highly successful projects with him. And I still consider this project successful, other than the challenges that have been thrown at us all. But the quality of the roads, there aren't any better in Genesee County. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll put those roads against any road in Genesee County.
All right.
I have enough, enough questions for the moment. Thank you.
I just have one.
If you have more, feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to answer.
I know Supervisor Ben has been in communication with the Road Commission, and I know Superintendent Lima has as well.
As well with your DPW director and assistant director, which I work with almost on a regular basis when I'm working projects in your township. They're my primary contacts.
Wrap this up with one more question.
I think you already answered it, but there are 2 schools in the subdivision. Are the roads able to withstand the bus traffic that comes in and out?
Absolutely. Let me give you an example of what occurred out there that I noticed that I hadn't noticed on any other project I've ever done. In my career, we typically use 21AA limestone for our egg base. Some contractors elect to use crushed concrete, 21AA gradation crushed concrete, which MDOT allows on the highways. So we allow on our local roads still a quality material. Something that I've been doing up to, I don't know, before I came to the county. I've been at the county a little over 6.5 years. Started using crushed asphalt, which isn't widely used. But what I found, and what we used in Brittwood, what we've used in Flint Township, Mundy Township, and now Grand Blanc Township, is I used 21AA crushed asphalt for our stone-based section. The difference, we have 19 inches of stone. I've done other roads with limestone, crushed concrete. When you have to pour curb on it, the concrete trucks, fully loaded, have to come in and drive on that subgrade to lay the concrete, curb and gutter. You also have to bring in what we call flow buoys in the asphalt to put that down on that stone grade. When the first road we did out at Wishing Well was Springwell. We put 19 inches of 21AA crushed asphalt on top of that geotextile separator and the biaxial. For the first time ever that I can ever remember, when the concrete truck came in and they poured the curb and the concrete truck left, I couldn't tell the concrete truck was even there. What do I mean by that? With the limestone, with the crushed concrete, you see the concrete truck's tire marks. You see their tracks. You will always have evidence that they've been there. With the crushed asphalt, didn't even know they were there. What does that mean? I think it's a superior product. I think those roads are going to last 20 years and well beyond.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Lehman, anything you want to add? Well, we appreciate you coming this evening. We would encourage, and I'm on the website here, that individuals go to the Genesee County Road Commission if they have additional items that they think need to be addressed. And as Mr. Godley said, you go to the bottom of the page that he had pointed out, and there's a form that you can fill out that basically lists your additional concerns if you believe they haven't been addressed or that you haven't called them in. So we appreciate you coming this evening and addressing the concerns, and we look forward to consumers finishing up their work. Hopefully we don't, knock on wood, have any more major storms right now that prevent them from coming out and finishing their portion of it. And we look forward to it in a timely manner. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yep. Well, we appreciate your work, and we appreciate you coming to the board to address the concerns.
No problem.
Okay. You have something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Next item is consent agenda, Mr.
Yeah.
Supervisor.
So at this time, we will move on to our approval of the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Yancho. Support by Ms. Hugo.
Motion by Yancho, supported by Hugo on the consent agenda. Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
6-0. Motion passes.
Okay, item number 7, our old business, the MERS Police Department Defined Benefit Pension Actuarial Report for the period ending December 31st, 2025 was prepared and sent to Mr. Limata, and I think Mr. Limata has a little bit of good news for us, actually a lot of good news.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. You guys all have a copy in front of you. As typical, we usually get it on or about June 30th every year. It's a snapshot of where that pension valuation was as of December 31st of 2025. The news that I think are a couple of important things that I'll point out is, again, the purpose of the valuation, measure funding progress as of December 31st, to establish contribution requirements for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, and of course, provide the actuarial information to be compliant with governmental accounting standards. The folks who do the actuary, Gabriel Roeder and Smith, have multiple years and substantial experience valuing public employee retirement systems. The good news on page 6, the funded ratio as of December 31st, 2025, 78%. Again, it was 74% the year prior, 78%. We continue to move in the right direction. There's additional information that kind of shows historical where we were, but that's up 20 percentage points from 2015, the year I got here, and we started to try to have additional impact. The direction that the board has provided for us on this is to continue to focus on there. I'm happy to say it's working. 78% funded is significant progress. I'll be happier when we're in the 80s, and so I would just encourage you that we don't back off on the additional contributions that we have been making for the last 10 years. The assumed rate of investment return on the 2025 valuation was 6.79%. That resulted also in our projected monthly payment, our contribution towards the police defined benefit plan of $153,302, or a total of 1.8 million annual contribution rate. The good news is that we actually earned much significantly higher than the 6.79%, which was used for the assumption. We actually earned in the 15% last year. It was a great year for our investments. So that also helped in making up some ground. One of the things I'd like to highlight is I often get asked, how do we get to 100% funded? To accelerate to a 100% funding in 10 years, the estimated monthly employer contributions beginning in 2027 would be $182,745, instead of the $153,302. So what that means is for about $30,000 more per month, we would be significantly moving to the progress of having it 100% funded within 10 years. I point that out to say because of what we've put into the surplus account annually, including $1 million each of the last 3 years, and in this year's budget presentation that you'll hear at your next meeting, when the auditors are here, we have earmarked an additional $750,000 this year. We're paying much significantly higher than that 30,000. So when will we get 100%? All assumptions remaining the same would be less than 10 years, perhaps 8 years or less to get to that 100% funded, which means, again, significant progress of unfunded liabilities, just like the board has accomplished with the other post-employment benefits with healthcare. So I think that's a very important point. Our actual market rate of return, 15.25% last year. Pretty phenomenal. So again, because our investments are doing well, I think that is the key. What would happen if we had lower future annual returns? In the body of your valuation report, page 10, you can see what happens if you, instead of 6.79, we're at 5.79 or 4.79. Your contribution, monthly contribution would be impacted up to $214,000 to $288,000. So it's really contingent. These assumptions are very contingent on what the market does, what that looks like. But I'm not a great prognosticator of what that was like. If I was, I wouldn't be working here. I'd be in the investment business. However, I think all things point, when you look at the continuity that we've had, again, very, very strong look. We've got in our surplus account $5.6 million that would help us weather any setbacks or storms. We put it in a surplus account rather than put it directly in to the employer's contribution for a very good reason, and that is because then that would lower our annual required contribution. We do not want to do that. We want to keep our foot on the gas when it comes to that annual required contribution so that we really are making significant progress. So great report, great valuation report. It shows that we're doing the right thing. We need to keep our foot on the gas and continue to do the right thing and fund the pension program.
So, Mr. Lima, great work. My hat's off to you, the finance department, for being able to accomplish this. There are communities that have to raise taxes, if nothing else, just to pay down these unfunded liabilities or these legacy costs that have built up over the last 50, 60 years. And I'm very proud that we haven't had to do that and that we're actually making progress on paying these off. Maybe just a snapshot of where we were 10 years ago. Right now, with this actuarial, we're at 78%, but 10 years ago, what was that number roughly?
10 years ago, you were 58% funded and growing because the program was still in effect. Today, we've closed that program to new hires as of 2017 and continue to make significant progress with the additional funds put on it. Just remember, 10 years ago, you were 13% funded in your retiree health care account, 58% funded in your police defined benefit pension plan. Today, you're 116% funded in your retiree health care account, and you're 78% funded in your police defined benefit pension plan. That's incredible progress, and it helps to ensure that you're able to maintain the lower tax rate that the township puts towards the taxpayers of Grand Blanc Township.
Yeah. No, it's phenomenal work, and our board, thanks to all of you for your commitment to paying this down. The money that we put towards this, we could probably build some shiny new things, but we're taking care of the core and the foundation of our community that 20 years from now, people are going to look back and say, wow, how did we ever pay that off? At least I hope they look at that and see that. But the bottom line is we're building a strong foundation, whereas we could be spending that money on lots of things that, would be shiny and new. Mr. Yancho?
Does that have an effect on our bond rating?
Absolutely, that gets looked at. I mean, if you recall Public Act 202, when that was enacted in the state of Michigan, it really was to look at how many municipalities across the state were underfunded in their other post-employment benefits, both pensions and health care. And you didn't even have to report it in your comprehensive financial audit. So people didn't really see how much debt was actually looming behind you and building. And when you look at, you think about stories, you don't have to look very far for how disastrous it could be if an emergency manager has to come in and take over your municipality. And in almost every single one of those cases, what caused it? Unfunded liabilities and the failure to address them. So when you look at what you guys have accomplished in 10 years, nothing short of phenomenal. It's maintain that focus. And as elected officials, it's very tempting to, you want to get reelected, then you listen to the people who say, build me a pathway or build me a park or build me this, because those are good shiny objects and people see that and they like it. They don't necessarily see that you're paying down that debt. You're getting rid of those legacy costs that can really, really impact you. And it does, Treasurer Yancho. Every time we borrow money, whether it's for a special assessment district road project or to build the new fire station and DPW building, it would cost the taxpayer significantly more money if we didn't continue to address this. And our bond rating will be released, our newest one, in 2 days. And we've been AA minus stable, from a Standard & Poor's rating. We'll see where we come in this time, but that AA minus stable is a very, very strong credit rating. It makes us very attractive in the bond market, is why we get such low bond rates when we go out.
And that also matters for subdivision paving projects.
It absolutely does. 1 percentage point difference can make a huge difference in the overall cost of that project.
So by us paying off our debt, it lowers the cost for paving projects because the bonds that we go out for, the bond rating agencies, they're looking at what the township's rating is as well. So it saves our residents money immediately when it comes to paving projects. So, okay, well, thanks again, and thanks to our board for our commitment to taking care of this issue that has been around for decades, that we've been attacking it for the last 10, 12 years and doing a great job. So with that, our strategic plan update, I know we are going to have our audit information. Mr. Kimmer, are you going to address the strategic plan update? Or no?
Yes.
No? Okay. Anything to report on other than that, Dennis, with regard to the strategic plan update?
Yeah, Matt's going to give you just a quick overview of the goal area of enhanced parks and recreation.
Very good.
All right, good evening, everyone. I want to give you a short update here on 4 or 5 items regarding enhanced parks and recreation that was identified on your strategic plan that we updated in the spring of this year. One of the areas we wanted to focus on was increasing evening programming options at the senior center. We have since hired a part-time programmer out there at the senior center. She's currently been networking with most of the seniors out there to kind of get a feel of what options they would like to see in the evenings. We have had a few options that we've opened up this summer. It has been kind of hit or miss right now. We're anticipating that that's going to pick up in the fall and winter months as people are looking for more inside programming options. We had a security camera system that was installed out at the senior center. That's a significant enhancement that we've made out there. Part of that was funded through a grant with the Michigan Arts and Culture Council. The other portion of that grant was picked up by the township and the city of Grand Blanc. As you know, we did sign a lease agreement with the Grand Blanc Heritage Association for the lease of the Perry House. Max and I are currently working on getting an inventory of what's in that house out there so that we can have some permanent displays out there. We also authorized a structural report to be done on the house. The engineer came out and completed the initial assessment about a month ago. We're anticipating to have the results of that report that will kind of give us an idea of any enhancements that we need to make to the house in order to have, open that up for permanent displays. And also, just a reminder, the Parks and Rec millage question will be on the ballot for August 4th. We're asking the voters if they support a half mil for Parks and Recreation. That'll be out there on August 4th. And then just to give you an update of where we're at with the parking lot and pavilion project, the contractor plans on mobilizing equipment out there this week to the site. So we should be anticipating construction starting out there within the next week or so, week or two. Any other questions that you guys may have? That's about all the updates I have on this right now.
Oh, thank you for the update.
So, okay.
Sounds good. With that, we'll move on to new business. The board will consider a motion for the DPW to purchase 2 sets of Snap-on tools for the fleet maintenance garage in the amount of $18,638.58 and authorize the Township Superintendent to execute all contracts and documents. Mr. Boggs?
Good evening, everyone. Before you tonight is 2 sets of tools for our fleet mechanics. Currently, they share 1 set of tools. When we had 3 mechanics, it's very cumbersome with all the extra work they're getting on, taking on fire and whatnot. It causes problems. So we're getting another set of tools for the garage, and then we have the mobile fleet truck that never really was outfitted with the proper tools for mobile repairs out at the parks or if someone's stranded out throughout the township. So this would outfit them, and then once we, before you, the next agenda item is about renovating the DPW barn. Once we get that going, we would go out to get a 3rd mechanic again.
Okay.
Move to support.
Okay. Mr. Fike makes the motion.
Motion by Fike,
Support by Ms. Ryder.
supported by Ryder on item 8A.
I have spoken with the mechanics in the past, and they felt it was very much needed, and I think it'll help us greatly. So, with that, go ahead, Clerk Robertson.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
Thanks. Item B is also with regard to our DPW. The board will consider a motion to approve the DPW staff to complete renovations of the former DPW Field Tech barn to convert it to be the new mechanics garage for $175,800 and authorize Township Superintendent to execute all related contracts and documents. Mr. Boggs?
Before you tonight is a proposal to create a budget for us to renovate the existing DPW barn. In the master plan, the DPW techs, obviously we have the new facility that's left their old facility vacant. The mechanics have been in the Township Hall garage for 40 years or more, and it's been a small, cramped spot. So we looked at, we did seek out outside counsel to put together a proposal. A lot of the cost of doing it outside is very absorbent. We believe we can do it in-house, kind of similar how we set a budget for the Parks and Rec maintenance barn addition. We had a budget in the township. We did it with the DPW technicians in-house. Turned out great. We used subs also. We want to do the same here, and it'll save the township a lot of money and get these mechanics moved in here, hopefully before the winter comes.
So everybody's been over the new DPW building. It houses all of our vehicles, offices, what have you, but the mechanics are going to be working in our former DPW building. The garage that the mechanics have been working in is very antiquated and small and very much needed to have a good place. Our mechanics repair everything under the sun, from as small as a mower to generators to for our pump stations, for water and sewer, our vehicles, fire trucks, police cars. They completely rip out police cars when we get them and build them out. So this is very much needed. I'll make the motion that we move forward on it.
Motion by Bennett,
Support, Mr. Yancho.
supported by Yancho on item 8B. Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Item C, the board will consider a motion to approve Resolution 26-21 for the approval of the Michigan Liquor Control Commission special license application for the Allied Challenge Golf Tournament, August 24th through the 30th, 2026.
I'll make the motion on this item, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, I'll support it. Mr. Lehman, any comment?
It's the same that comes before you every year. They suspend the license, goes to the tournament organizers rather than Warwick, and it allows them to hold the tournament.
Questions?
Shall I proceed
Yes,
with
go
the
ahead.
roll call? Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
Trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee Fike.
Yes.
Myself, yes. 6-0, motion passes.
Thank you. Future agenda items, Mr. Lehman?
So I think one of the biggest, obviously, is going to be coming up in 2 weeks when your auditors are here. No surprises. It's a very clean audit. And so I think you'll hear that, again, the township continues to remain very successful. Our financial reporting is bar none. They will submit us once again for the Michigan Government Finance Officers Award that we received 20-some years in a row for our financial reporting and our transparency. But I think it's great news, and also you'll have a conversation about $1.5 million if we keep the general fund reserve balance at 18%. It's board mandated between 12 and 15. I've been making the recommendation to keep it at 18% for the last 3 or 4 years, rather than the board mandated lower amount. In fact, I think maybe we should adopt that in a resolution form, make that our current policy, is that the board mandates that we do keep our general fund reserve balance at 18% of general fund expenditures moving forward. But it just puts us in a stronger financial position in the event that we have another economic downturn like we had back in 2008. So you'll certainly cover that. Also, I know that you guys had some concerns about Mterra and waste pickup. I think that we need to continue to have those conversations. Mterra has been responsive in the past. This year has probably been the most frustrating year with Mterra. But it's not just Mterra, it's every garbage hauler. If you just do a quick Google search, garbage complaints in Southeast Michigan, you'll find out that Priority is the absolute worst garbage company in the entire state of Michigan, unless you do it for a different area, and it will be Republic is the absolute worst garbage hauler in the state of Michigan. If you do it here, it's Mterra is the absolute worst garbage hauler in the state of Michigan. They're all experiencing the same problems. One of my frustrations with Mterra is to do with their equipment and their investment in capital investments. I don't know their finances, obviously, but when they came in, we're paying $170 a year in your December tax bill for a full year's service of solid waste or garbage, your yard waste, and your recycle for $170 a year. That was what it's costing the average homeowner. It was considerably less than the other garbage haulers that we looked at when we renewed that contract. Maybe it's the old adage, you get what you pay for. Maybe we need to pay more if people are willing to pay more. It's hard for us to change because we bill it out in December. I've advocated in the past we could do it next year, that rather than put it into December's taxes, we can put it on a monthly bill or a quarterly bill, and people would really see what it is they're paying. I know if we go out, it will be considerably higher, but maybe that's okay because the service gets better. Again, I think it depends on the route. I've had the same, guys running my route, I'm guessing, for the last 10 years. And one time they missed my recycling in 10 years. That's the only issue I've ever had. So apparently on, McCandlish and Saginaw, we either are very, very lucky or we have, we've had stability in the guys who work that route. I don't know. But I also know what the clerk's office deals with on a weekly basis with the number of complaints that come in. Either they didn't pick up the garbage or they didn't pick up the recycle. I was listening to Pineville. I know at one point they were told Mterra was told by the former clerk here not to bring the big trucks down in Pine Villa because they don't want it to damage the roads. You know, if we're not concerned about that, then they should run the big trucks down there. It's not because they couldn't turn around, it was because they were told not to go there and they agreed to do that because they were concerned about damaging the roads. And that was done by the former clerk who put that out to Mterra. So if that's not,
We want that agreement still, and we don't understand what changed just because they've got a different person in the job. Because we did repave our streets, yeah.
and so that's one of the reasons why the big trucks don't go. You said something about if you put out more than 4 bags of garbage. That's not a thing with our contract or with Mterra. I'm not sure where that information came from, but I can assure you that it's not part of our agreement. They, you know, I've lived in multiple other municipalities, and when I got here, I couldn't believe how cheap it was and that they could even pick up big items and do the things they do. I'm still blown away because I paid considerably more in every other community I lived in. So it's kind of like, you know, the service, you know, has been good. There's 36,000 unique pickups, and maybe there's other ways we can explore this with Mterra because we got 12,000 unique stops for garbage. Then they run the sometimes same trucks through for yard waste. Then the same guys will come through and pick up recycle. Sometimes it's different crews, but that's 36,000 unique stops. Many other communities alternate. It's yard waste one week, it's, you know, recycle the next week. Maybe if we just explored doing something like that, that would free up 12,000 stops and get us incredibly better service. I think there's a lot of unique ways to look at it. We've talked to Dan. Supposedly they're taking new trucks in service this week. You know, will that make a difference? I don't know. I also know that it's been really, really tough in the industry to hire people. People just don't, you know, it's not a job that's highly sought after, and so they struggle like so many others, like in the service businesses. They just can't hire enough people. But we have a contract. They say they're going to do it. They say they are going to make those 36,000 unique stops, and for that contracted amount, that works out to $170 a year per taxpayer. So I think we need to have a representative from Mterra if we can ever pin them down and get them in here so that the board, just like the road commission, can ask those tough questions.
I agree. I think we should get somebody here. I was having a conversation with the president of the Teamsters here locally in the last couple of days. They represent the employees of Mterra, and it is a very short-term type of job for most of the folks that do that. You can imagine the strain on the individuals physically. You know, and I'm aware of some communities even near us that have the garbage cans that the arms come out and pick them up. Some of those communities, you're limited to what fits in those garbage cans. I drive around the township, obviously, quite regularly, daily, and I see the mountains of garbage. I don't know if some people empty their entire home or if it's what it is, but they actually have it on the curb. And I think to myself, and the other thing is a lot of times they don't bag these things. They set boxes out individually and set out all sorts of things, carpet, you know, you name it, and expect the sanitation workers to hand pick all that stuff up. People put loose garbage in their garbage cans so that when they're trying to pull out those bags, they're encountering dirty diapers, dog refuse. We had even an explosion in one of the fire trucks. Somebody put a gas can in the garbage, and when the thing came down, it exploded. Dan Glass, the president of the Teamsters, also told me that it's regular. You really these workers that get stuck by needles regularly. That they're picking up garbage bags and they get either caught by glass or a needle sticks in their hand, what have you. So it's not a job that is highly sought after. When the rest of us are in our homes and it's 102 degrees out, these guys are loading garbage when it's pouring down rain. They do have work rules and in their contract that when it gets to a certain temperature, they get a few more breaks. When it's pouring down rain and lightning, they get a few more breaks on those days. So weather events slow them down, it's going to slow down anybody. We could look at going to the system where everybody gets certain cans and the arms pick them up. You know, there's some things we can look at, but we do have a contract. And I really, in my neighborhood, you know, I can say that they have taken 2 days many times to pick it up, but I understand too that, you know, it's either been hot or they've had a lot of issues, but it does get picked up. Now, I understand that the clerk's office did get quite a few phone calls this past week or two, more than ordinary, and I believe that probably was across the county from what I'm hearing. And I think we should have somebody from Ontario come and talk to us about what they're going to do to resolve this. So I think there's some options. Clerk Robertson?
My office does handle this issue, and the volume of calls has gone up recently considerably. And we do need to have someone from Ontario to come in and address these issues. I appreciate the support of your office and Superintendent Limita in your appreciation of the need for that. I think we need to have decision makers at Ontario in to discuss what we can do to make service better. And frankly, the board reserves all options with regard to garbage delivery, or delivery, excuse me, pickup. I did want to speak to one issue that was raised. Large items can be taken, and the rule of thumb is they'll take one large item per week. A large item is defined as anything that 2 people can carry away from the curb. That's what we're told. The mattress and box spring are they considered a single item, or we? That's one item, okay. And of course, yes, there was mentioned dump passes as well are available. But I know I know how difficult it is for people to drive up to Brent Run, Montrose. We don't want that. We don't want to avoid that as much as possible. I understand that. But no, I'm glad that we're going to be addressing this with them, Tara, in the near future.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Yonchu, anything to report from the Treasurer's Department?
Tax bills are out, payments are starting to come in, summer taxes.
Summer taxes are for education. I think that's all that's on the tax bill, right?
No, there's quite a bit more.
I thought it was all school taxes. What's that?
County operating and.
Right, county operating and school, okay. With that, Clerk Robertson, anything with the election coming up?
As I mentioned at the last board meeting in my report, we have over 9,000 absentee ballots that have been mailed out. Obviously, people are voting and some are turning them in, and we're processing them in the manner that we should. So things are going swimmingly in the clerk's office.
Very good.
We get past the garbage calls.
Just a brief comment. You'll probably notice that I wasn't at the meeting the last board meeting. I was traveling, actually. I was invited by the Mott Foundation and by Genesee County Planning to join them to go to Bentonville, Arkansas. Why Bentonville? You probably have seen in the news that the Mott Foundation recently announced that they're going to provide $25 million in funding to start with in Genesee County for pathways. Bentonville is kind of, it's where the U.S. Olympic mountain bike team trains, but it's also become quite well known as kind of the pathway mecca of the country. We went there to take a look at how Bentonville has been transformed by the pathway system that they have. You know, some of their early investments were like for 163 miles of pathways. Currently, they have about 500 miles of connected paved and natural surface trails. But one of the things that they have is a 40-mile pathway that's paved that goes from Fayetteville to Bentonville, connects 7 municipalities. What we're looking at here in Genesee County is actually having a hub and spoke type of setup, as we've heard from the county when they were here presenting, that basically we would have a greenway as well that would run from Fenton all the way through Grand Blanc all the way up to Flint through to Clio, and the same going from Davison to Fenton, Goodrich, what have you. So, like I said, a hub and spokes type of setup. It affected everything from the economy to healthcare. I mean, I think we heard the presentation that the county gave. I think the average life expectancy here in Genesee County is at 72, which is very low. It's unfortunate, but they found that healthcare costs in Arkansas have been affected in a positive way. The trails are used. They figure at least 35% of the people bicycle, but it's also great for running, skateboarding, you name it. But some really unique things, and we'll be sharing them with our Parks and Rec people and looking at what we can do here in Grand Blanc Township. But we're working with the county to make this plan happen, and it's the plan is to make it work over the next 4 years. So we're not talking some pie in the sky. We're looking at making this happen fairly quickly. With that, Mr. Limita?
That's all I've got.
Mr. Chubb, anything?
Nothing to add.
Okay. The last item in our agenda, that pursuant to the Open Meetings Act and MCL 15.268, 1E, Township Council requests a closed session to discuss trial strategy in pending litigation pertaining to Andrew Rabb versus Aaron Quinn and others, Anna Matson versus Grand Blanc Charter Township, and Alexander Newton and others versus Grand Blanc Township. So I make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.26.
And I'll support that motion, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay.
Shall I proceed with the roll call?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
Trustee Fike?
Yes.
6-0, motion passes. We are
Okay.
exiting open session at 7:27.